Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is Diego here for another live stream to help you get your K1 visa, your green card, your spousal visa, your tourist visa. Come on along, and today is February the 27th, 2025. I think it's Thursday. Today's trash day. So the trash man comes today. I'm here in the Panhandle of Florida. It's 12:22 p.m. Central Time, U.S. Central Time, and I'm going to do a live stream to try to answer some of the questions that I didn't answer on the last live stream because we went for about an hour and a half. So that was quite a long time. So here we are around lunchtime, and hopefully folks in other countries around the world will be able to log on. And Maru is online. Good afternoon, Diego. Maru, what's going on? Now, Maru, you're a member of the channel. Maru, welcome as a member to the channel. And I got your email, and I responded to your email, Maru. So if guys, if you want to become a member, Maru's got my phone number, my email address, and I'm already helping Maru with the K1 visa process. One-on-one. Life as a mom. Good evening, Diego. What's going on? Life as a mom now I'm trying to remember, are you in Massachusetts or Minnesota? But weren't you in England and then now you're in Minnesota? I'm trying to remember. I try to remember, everybody. And I picked up some of this orange Mountain Dew, Livewire Mountain Dew, and but I drank some of it already, so I was thirsty. Life as a mom, yes, Massachusetts, very good. Chris and Emil, U.S. Department of Homeland Security for the check. That's who you make out the check to, completely. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Don't abbreviate it. If you abbreviate the check, immigration will send your package back to you. Okay, so let me write it here. No abbreviation. Write it exactly like you posted it right here. And it's good that you're not going to use your credit card. Okay, good. It's good. Very good. No credit card. When you pay for your green card or for your K1 visa, use a personal check or a cashier's check. Maru, I saw the email, thanks, and I will send more information after work today. Okay, Maru, when you get done with work, send me the information and I'll get working on it for you. Now remember, guys, Maru is a member of this channel. It's $9.99 a month. That's nothing. Or you could pay an immigration attorney $6,000 if you want. But I'm going to help Maru with the K1 visa process. And I got your email, Maru, and I'm looking forward to helping you. Chris and Emil, Elon, Chicago, to be at sent. Elon. Well, Elon Musk? Who's Elon? Elon, Chicago, to be at sent. I don't understand. What does that mean? I don't understand. What are you saying, Chris and Emil? Let me button up my shirt. Elgin, Illinois. Okay. So it depends where you live. Okay. Whatever state you live in determines where to mail your adjustment of status paperwork. If you want to know where to send your adjustment of status paperwork for your green card, just tell me the state you live in, and I will give you the address right here. Life as a mom. So last night I was trying to update my husband's middle name, but it said I have to wait until 30 days before I can update anything. Okay, don't panic. Number one, immigration made the mistake. Okay. Number two, you've print that information. Print that so you can show immigration that you tried to fix it. All right. Don't panic. Chris and Emil, I'm in Mississippi to see where I need to send it. So you're living in Mississippi and you want me to tell you the address where to send your green card application, right? And the work permit. Now remember, you fill out the paperwork for the work permit and you fill out the paperwork for the green card and you put them in the same package. And you're going to use FedEx, DHL, or UPS. You're not going to use the Postal Service to ship off your green card application. So if you live in Mississippi, okay, this is the address where you mail your green card application using a courier service. Do not use the Postal Service. Use FedEx, UPS, or DHL. Okay, so you're going to type you're going to go to FedEx or UPS or whatever, DHL, and you're going to give them this address, and then they're going to go in their computer, and then they're going to put this address in their computer if you live in Mississippi. Okay, so this is what you're going to send it to. This is what you're going to bring to the courier service office. Make sure you write the address down correctly. Okay, don't make any mistakes. Don't make mistakes. Don't make any typos on the address. Okay. And when you get to the courier service office, this is the address you're going to give them, and they will type it in their computer. They're going to put it in their computer, and then include the work permit. So you're going to put your green card package together. You're going to fill out the paperwork for the work permit. You're going to write out the check to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and you're going to send it to this address. Okay? So if you have a pen, you can write this down. Okay? Make sure you write it down properly. Don't make any mistakes. Check the zip code. Don't mess up the zip code or anything. Okay, that's where you're going to send it. USCIS, attention, adjustment of status, box 4109, 2500 Westfield Drive, Elgin, Illinois. And on top of that, I'm going to put all this MAGA pixie dust for your K1 visa application. This is the K1 visa green card super lucky 2025 pixie dust, and you're good to go. Life as a mom, thank you, Diego, no problem. Chris and Emma, work permit. Yeah, you put the work permit, you fill out the paperwork for the work permit. Don't forget to sign the paperwork, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, and you include it in the box that you're going to give it. You're going to take all your stuff to the FedEx office or the UPS office, and you're going to put it in a box of some kind. You're going to bring it to them, or put it in Office Depot or Walmart binders with document protectors in order of your cover letter. Okay, you got it? Sorry, I got interrupted with the ads. They're already running advertisements. I'm sorry about that. Okay, but that's how YouTube pays for this. So I can give you this information for free. YouTube runs commercials, which funds YouTube, which allows me to give you this YouTube channel. Pretty good, right? So let's give a Mountain Dew salute to YouTube for letting me do this. And you got interrupted with the ads. Well, battled through the commercials and then back on track with what we're doing. There's the address, Chris and Emma, for your green card application. You live in Mississippi, so it's going to go to Elgin, Illinois. There's the address. If anybody else needs the address where to ship their green card package, let me know. Tell me the state you live in. Don't tell me, you don't have to tell me the city, just the state, and I'll give you the address where to send it via a courier. Okay. Now, if you work for the Postal Service, I'm not bashing the U.S. Postal Service, but it's a federally ran operation that's losing lots of money. Okay. President Biden tried to make the Postal Service buy billions of dollars worth of electric cars, which aren't going to work too well if you live in New York during a freaking winter storm when you need a gasoline-powered postal truck. Okay. So you got to go with a courier service that's a privately owned company that makes money. Okay. The Postal Service is losing money. So what does that tell you? Don't do business with them. FedEx, DHL, UPS are making money, which means they are protecting your green card package like this. It's like they're protecting it for you, and then they'll get it to where it's supposed to be. And then they'll send you a text message, FedEx or whatever. They'll send you a notification saying immigration received it. Don't forget this form right here. You got to include this form with your green card package or your K1 visa application, because then immigration can send you a text message to your phone and tell you, they'll give you a receipt number. They'll tell you they've received your green card package or K1 visa package. They will open up the box. They will start to process it. And the next thing you're going to get is once you've paid for your green card application by check, immigration will take your check and they will electronically scan it, and the money goes straight into the bank for USCIS. Then they start working on your green card application. You'll get a letter about 2 weeks later for biometrics. So wherever you live, you're going to go to a biometrics interview. And what are you going to bring with you to the biometrics interview? Your passport, the appointment letter from immigration, and the marriage certificate. Chris and Emil, UPS will be stopping regularly mail soon because of bankruptcy. Well, I don't know about UPS going bankrupt. I have no clue. Okay. But if that happens and you don't want to use UPS, use FedEx. Okay. Chris and Emil, so she needs the G1145. Yes. You must include a USCIS form G1145 with your green card application. That way immigration will know, that way you will know that immigration received and have opened the box. They will send you a text message with an IOE receipt number, okay, which is an electronic receipt number. You'll get the receipt number, and then you can take the receipt number from the text message and go into your USCIS online account and look up the status of your case, and they will tell you where it's at, what's going on. USPS, I mean regular mail. Well, I don't think the United States Postal Service is going to go bankrupt. But what I do think is going to happen is that President Trump is going to put the U.S. Postal Service under the Commerce Department and streamline it so they run efficiently like a freaking company should. Okay? Trump's going to put, I think the Commerce Department is going to take control of the Postal Service and fix it so they can start making money. They've had some terrible leadership. The Postal Service has been managed very badly for a long time. And Trump is going to fix it, which is good. Because the competition we always need competition. In the United States of America, it's always good to have competition. When two companies compete, that keeps the prices low and it makes the production better. The service is much better when there's competition, right? When I order stuff on Amazon, if it gets shipped via FedEx, UPS, or Amazon, I get it quickly. If it comes via the U.S. Postal Service, like I bought Karina a cat picture, it took like 4 weeks to get here, and it went all around all these U.S. Postal Service annexes. I'm like, what the heck is this crap? So if you are a private company that does business with Amazon, don't mail stuff to me using the Postal Service. Use a courier service. If I got to pay a little bit more, okay, I'll pay a little bit more. I don't mind. So the K-1 visa process is pretty fast right now between the NOA-1 and the NOA-2 letter. It's about 6 months, 7 months. The process between the NOA-2 letter and the National Visa Center is about 2 to 3 months. Okay. What happens is that the U.S. Postal Service, what happens is USCIS will collect all the approved K-1 visas. They put them in their warehouse. They store them and stack them. And then every 2 weeks or so, they send them and they ship them to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center will get them, and then they will go through the approved K-1 visas to make sure there's no mistakes. Okay? Now, the National Visa Center cannot deny a visa. There's only 2 places that can deny a visa or a green card. That's at the Service Center or the embassy interview. Okay? So when your stuff goes to the National Visa Center, your K-1 visa package, when it goes to New Hampshire, don't be worried that they're going to look at it and block it or deny it. Okay? But if they find a problem with it, they send it back to the USCIS. Okay? If you go to your K-1 visa interview at the embassy and there's a problem somewhere, okay, there's an issue somewhere, the embassy will send your K-1 visa package back to USCIS. That's how it works. So the goal here is to put together a K-1 visa package that's got no mistakes. So when the MVC get it, they don't find any mistakes, and then all they got to do is ship it off using they use DHL in a courier package to the embassy. Now, depending on what country you live in, Mr. Beneficiary, depends on how quick that the embassy will process your K-1 visa application and get the ready status to your sponsor. When your sponsor gets the packet 4 email from the embassy, the consulate, then things start happening. Then you can pay the consular fee. submit the DS-160, schedule the visa interview, schedule the biometrics. When Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, Karina's from Venezuela. She was born and raised in Caracas, Venezuela. Okay. And then she went to college. She got a degree in tax accounting, got a fantastic job as a director of accounting for a big company. And then the communist government came in and totally destroyed Venezuelan economy. Communism doesn't work. Socialism doesn't work. And basically, the Venezuelan economy was decimated by Chavez and now Maduro. So what happened? Karina lost her job as the director of accounting. So she got frustrated with the economy and with the government. You know, Karina is a capitalist conservative, not a socialist. She's a capitalist conservative, but Maduro is a socialist communist. So it's like mixing water and oil together with Karina and the Venezuelan government. They don't get along. So Karina relocated to Colombia legally. She got legal residency and asylum in Colombia, and she got a good job running ice cream stores. She's like the manager of like 5 of them. And then she met me, and we dated each other in Colombia. So thank you. I'm glad that Karina actually moved to Colombia. Otherwise, I never would have met her. So we dated for 3 years, got married, went through the K-1 visa and the green card process, just like you guys. Okay. And I've got all this knowledge, 11 years of experience processing K-1 visas, by the way, and green cards, 11 years experience. And the secret is be in a real relationship, qualify for the benefit financially, don't have any criminal record that's going to hurt you, like that. And you don't need an immigration attorney to do this. You don't need an immigration attorney to put a green card package together. It's easy to do. A K-1 visa package is easy to do. You just got to pay attention to detail. Okay. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney, and I don't work for USCIS, and I don't give you any legal advice, but you don't need it. If you know how to read and write and add and subtract, you can fill out a green card application or a K-1 visa application. You can do it yourself. I was watching a YouTube channel today. There was this immigration attorney scaring the living daylights out of everybody. He had like 19,000 views on his bogus BS rhetoric. He was telling everybody that embassies are all closing down, and that consular officers are going to be terminated, and it's going to be impossible to get a green card or a K-1 visa or a work permit or a work visa or a tourist visa. He was so full of crap, okay, that I actually had to post on his timeline that he was full of crap. Embassies are not closing down around the world. But if you are a consular officer, if you're on the staff of an embassy, and your job really is not that critical, you don't process K-1 visas, you don't give interviews, you don't do security checks. If you're just basically an employee at an embassy who doesn't have a critical job, there's a good chance you'll lose your job and be terminated to save taxpayer money. But embassies are not closing down. Okay, you're going to get your green card if you qualify for it. He even came on his channel and said American citizens are going to have a hard time getting U.S. passports if they're overseas. That is so much BS, guys. And this guy, I mean, I was like looking at him thinking, man, if only I could give you a call and tell you what an idiot you are and how stupid you look on your channel, to help him, make him unstupid. Okay. I wanted to help him, to make him look better, because if he's helping people, that's great, but he's giving people bad advice. You don't need an immigration attorney. You don't need it. If you want me to help you completely with your K-1 visa application, sign up as a member. I'll help you. And like we have Maru today was emailing me. Maru's a member of the channel, and I got an email from Maru. He wants help with the K-1 visa application. I'll do it all I help him do the whole thing. It's like $9.99 a month. How do you sign up as a member? It's easy. But you don't have to be a member. You can come on the live stream if you want. These live streams are free. but I only do the live stream like 3 times a week, right? So if you have an emergency where you need an immediate action on something, you have to wait for the live stream. But that's okay. That's fine. If you want to do that, that's perfectly okay. Okay? But I'm here for you guys to help you get through this process. It's not difficult. If you forget something, if you forget to include something in your green card application, it's going to slow down the process. And you're going to be, it'll throw an extra 2 or 3 months on the process where you're waiting for your green card because you got to fix something that you forgot. Or if you submit your K-1 visa application and you forget to sign the paperwork, you don't sign the I-129F. So how do you sign the paperwork for a K-1 visa? You sign your full name, right, in neat cursive. So when you sign your paperwork for immigration, you got to sign your full name in neat cursive. Don't do a doctor scroll. Don't sign it like this. You don't want to sign your green card paperwork like that, Mr. Sponsor or Miss Beneficiary. Sign your full name, your first name, your middle name, your last name in cursive, so it's readable by immigration. If immigration can't read your signature, they're going to send your stuff back to you. If you forget to sign your paperwork, immigration is going to send your stuff back to you. Okay? If you fill out the check incorrectly, or the cashier's check, they'll send everything back to you. Don't forget, you cannot file for a work permit separate from the green card. If you need a work permit, that's fine, but you got to file the work permit paperwork with the green card paperwork at the same time. Okay, you can't file for the green card and then, oh, I forgot, I got to file for the work permit. Can't do that unless you've already paid for the work permit. The only exception would be if you've paid for the green card and the work permit, but you forgot to include the work permit paperwork. Then you can go ahead and send it to them as in a separate package. But you have to have paid for it before you can do that. If you don't pay for it, immigration will take your money, but it's going to cost you about $500. If you want to get your work permit, you got to fill out this form right here. Right here. USCIS form I-765, and this edition expires on 10/31/2025, but I would have to check to make sure that that's still current. You don't want to fill out your paperwork for your K-1 visa, green card, etc., or especially your K-1 visa. You don't want to fill out your paperwork 1 year in advance or 6 months in advance. You don't want to fill out the I-129F and then 8 months later file for the K-1 visa, because then that form could have expired already. And if you submit an expired form, immigration will send all your stuff back. Then you got to redo everything. I'm still here, Chris and Emil says. Okay, well, you're good. No worries. We'll give you a Mountain Dew salute. I got this Mountain Dew is called Live Wire. It says pretty good. Mountain Dew doesn't pay me to do these Mountain Dew salutes, by the way. I just like Mountain Dew. I like Mellow Yellow too. Mellow Yellow is pretty good. So is Mountain Dew. Today's Friday, the 27th of February of 2025. Don't forget, it costs more money now. You got to make more money now when you file for the K-1 visa. You got to qualify at a higher income. You got to make more money now. Inflation under the Biden administration basically destroyed our economy. So now you got to make more money. Inflation jacked up how much money you got to make in order to qualify for the K-1 visa. Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor. Chris and Emil, I've got to send her green card off next week. You send off the green card application when you have reviewed it, you have double checked it, you have triple checked it, there are no mistakes, you have got lots of evidence in the green card package. Okay? You want to get this done right the first time. You need 2 passport photos. 2 passport photos, okay? Don't forget the I-94, the marriage certificate. Don't forget to sign the paperwork, the 864, the affidavit of support. Make sure you include the copy of the K-1 visa and the biographic pages of all the passports. the American citizen sponsor and the beneficiary. Put together a good green card application. If you do, maybe you won't have to go and have another visa interview. Although under President Trump, I'm pretty sure Corinne and I and everybody else watching this video today and in the future will have to go in front of another immigration officer for a visa interview, or for Corinne's case, for her 10-year green card. Okay? Remember, the 2-year green card is only temporary. You cannot renew it. You can't renew a 2-year green card. There's no such thing. When the 2-year green card expires, it's gone. It's no longer in effect. You have to lift the conditions off of it. Just pretend you got an ankle bracelet on and you're on probation. Okay? And then when you file for the 10-year green card, you're lifting the conditions off of the 2-year green card, and then they take off the ankle bracelet. What your goal should be planning for U.S. citizenship, so you don't have to worry about immigration anymore. I mean, just look at it like you want to live in America, you're married to an American, you want to become American. Learn about the history of our country, learn about the Constitution, plan get prepared for the U.S. citizenship interview. You got to be able to speak basic English and write in basic English. They're going to ask you some questions about the Constitution, about the government. And then they're going to ask you a bunch of questions after you pass that part. Once you get through the civics part of it and the government history, then they're going to ask you questions like, you just pretend I'm the immigration officer and you are in front of me trying to become a U.S. citizen. I'm going to ask you things like, have you left the United States since you got your green card? Have you ever left the United States longer than 6 months? Okay? If you've left the United States longer than 6 months, then you will not be qualified for the U.S. citizenship. You may be deported. They may just take your green card and ship you home. Once you get to America, live in America. If you need to go on vacation, you can go on a vacation with a 2-year green card. You know, take a 2-week vacation to go see grandma if you want, back wherever. You can do that. But I don't advise you leaving the country until you become a citizen, which takes 3 years from the issue date of your 2-year green card. So look at your 2-year green card, look at the issue date. 3 years from the issue date, you can apply for U.S. citizenship. Once you become a U.S. citizen, get your passport, and then go see grandma. In the meantime, use Zoom calls if you want. Do WhatsApp, FaceTime. There's ways to communicate with people. There is no excuse in the 21st century where you say you cannot communicate with somebody. I mean, unless your grandma lives in, a country that's in the war-torn battle zone, then you probably don't want to go back there until that gets sorted out, right? Chris and Emil, so we will get that $5,000 check from Elon Musk. No, it will come from the Treasury. The U.S. Treasury Department, if it gets approved, apparently it's got approved, but it's got to go through I'm sure it has to go through the Congress and the Senate to the president. Once it gets through all the checks, then a check will be mailed out to all Americans that have paid taxes above and beyond $5,000. It's going to come from the U.S. Treasury Department. Right here, right here. That's who's going to put out the checks. Now, when you get married, if you got married, okay, in 2024, you can file a joint tax return with your U.S. citizen sponsor, Mr. Beneficiary. If you got married in 2024, you can file a joint tax return, which you have to do. If you got married in 2025, you just got off the plane, you just got married, you cannot file a joint tax return until you've been in the country for a year, which will be 2026. Okay? So this year you can't. If you got married in 2025, you cannot file a joint tax return until next year. Okay? So if you file a joint tax return, when you go to your U.S. citizenship interview, when you file for your 10-year green card, immigration wants to look and see if you file joint tax returns together. They look for that. When you go to your U.S. citizenship interview, the question I'm the immigration officer I will ask you will be, do you owe any taxes to the federal government? That means you and your sponsor. So if your American citizen sponsor owes money to the federal government, to the IRS, don't go to your U.S. citizenship interview until that debt has been paid off. It will be a problem for you. Okay? So you're getting ready for U.S. citizenship. Ask your husband or wife, hey, do you owe the IRS any money? If they say no, you're good to go. If they say yes, you tell them, well, you need to get that paid off before I apply for U.S. citizenship, because they're going to ask me that question. And if you owe the federal government money, or you didn't file a tax return, or you filed your taxes late, immigration is going to want to know. And it's going to be a problem for you to become a citizen. You got to listen to me now. Karina has her 2-year green card. She's had it over a year. Will apply for her 10-year green card next March 2026. March 2026 is going to be like that. In 1 year, it will be here. Okay? And when it gets here, we already have a big pile of evidence like this for her 10-year green card. When she applies for the 10-year green card, she's going to get a notification from immigration that they received it, they've cashed the check, and everything's good to go. Right? So what happens then when her 2-year green card is expired and she still doesn't have her 10-year green card? Well, immigration will give you an extension on your 2-year green card until you get your 10-year green card. They're not going to give you a hard time. They're not going to put you out of status because it's not your fault. You did everything you were supposed to do. You got to lift the conditions off of the 2-year green card within 90 days before the 2-year green card expires. So look on your 2-year green card, look at the expiration date, subtract 90 days from the expiration date, and in that 90-day window, you got to lift the conditions off of that 2-year green card. You cannot file early, okay, and you cannot file late. It has to be within that 90-day window. So just pretend you're on the I-94 and you got to get married within 90 days. Now what you got to do is you got to lift the conditions within 90 days. Look at the expiration date on the 2-year green card minus 90 days. Somewhere in there, you got to lift the conditions. If you don't, if you file late, you'll be deported. If you file too early, they'll send all your stuff back to you and say you filed too early. It's got to be exact. What happens if you come to the United States and you don't get married within 90 days? What happens if you get married after 100 days or 150 days? What does immigration do when they receive your green card application? They look at the marriage certificate, and they look at the date on the marriage certificate, and then they look at the I-94, and they check to see if the date you got married is within the 90 days on the I-94. If it's past the date, you're going to get a letter of deportation. If you file too early, then they'll send everything back to you, and you got to redo everything. But Chris Nemmel says, do you think we'll get the check by July of 2025? I don't know. $5,000 is pretty good, because what happened was that Elon Musk and President Trump, they basically opened up the books to all these departments in the federal government in DC and found out that it was running a fraudulent abuse of taxpayer money. In some cases, it's fraud. In some cases, it was abuse, incompetence. In my opinion, it was just a ripoff. So we cannot operate. We cannot spend $7 trillion a year and only take in $5 trillion a year in taxes. That's a $2 trillion a year deficit. Eventually, we're going to go bankrupt as a country, and then there's no Social Security, there's no military retirement, there's no Medicare, there's no nothing. There's no paycheck for anybody, zero. The country goes into insolvency. So Elon Musk and his highly intelligent group of computer gurus investigated the federal government in DC, and they have uncovered massive fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm just grateful that they're finding it now, so that when you come to the United States, Miss Beneficiary, and start a family, your children who grew up in America in the future will not be worried about the country going bankrupt. So we got to support what they're doing now for the future of the children that'll be raised up in the future. Okay. $5,000 by July, that would be nice. But when it's in my hand, Karina and I will be made out to Diego and Karina Ross the check. We'll take it to the bank and deposit it. You know, if Trump says he's going to do something, he does it. Trump, when he ran for president, he said he was going to investigate all federal agencies. And he did. And now all these people are having panic attacks and heart attacks because they're getting laid off from their job. Well, the only reason they're getting fired or laid off from their job is because they were irrelevant. They didn't serve a purpose, but they were collecting a paycheck, $100,000 a year. If you're in the federal government and you have a legitimate reason to be there, you're not going to get fired. You're going to get your job. You may get a raise after all this. But, you know, it is what it is. Our country needs to be fixed financially. We spend, under Biden and his Marxist Congress, they were spending $7 trillion a year. But we were only collecting $5 trillion a year in taxes. You cannot operate that way. A business cannot operate that way, and a country cannot operate that way. So when you watch the news and you see all these people saying Elon Musk wasn't elected president, and they're bashing him and threatening him or whatever they're doing, that's correct. Elon Musk wasn't elected president, but he was hired by President Trump to investigate the problems in the financial sector, and he's doing a fantastic job. And then you get a few of these Marxist judges come out and try to block Elon Musk from exposing all this waste and abuse of our money. But the thing is this: when you come to America, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, you have a golden opportunity to succeed here. And hopefully you won't be paying a lot of money in taxes because all the waste will be washed out. Once we get rid of all the waste of our tax money, we can get tax breaks maybe. You know, we'll see what happens. Boogeyman, hey Diego, my K1 based on adjustment of status is pending, which submitted this week. Okay, so your Boogeyman, so your K1, so you came in on a K1 visa, filed the green card application, and it's pending. So he's pending for an interview, probably, right? So something weird happened last night. A police officer knocked on the door, said we got a hang-up call, and said our exact address, asked if everything was good. And my wife said all is good. And he was asking for my ID. That's okay. So something happened. I don't have an American ID, so I showed him my Social Security and date of birth. There you go. So something happened. Sounds like you got a spoof call on your house. You know, there's some bad people out there do stuff like that. Okay. You got a police knocking on your door, said they got a hang-up call. So what probably could have happened is, your cell phone could have dialed 911 by accident. Your cell phone's in your back pocket and you sit back and accidentally hits the emergency number. The police will know where the call came from and the address of the person, and they'll come and check to make sure you're okay. So what I would do is don't put your cell phone in your back pocket, so you don't make those. That's what the police guy said. Hey, listen, when you come on this channel, I'm going to give you 100% correct information. You check the call history, but there was nothing there. What happened was this. A Mountain Dew salute to the police officers that came to check on you to make sure you're okay. You called 911 by accident. It's not going to show up on your call history. You hit the emergency button. Your butt, when your phone was in your back pocket, you sat down, something happened. It hit the emergency button, and it sent an emergency distress to the police department. They came to your house. You're good. Don't worry about it. Nothing to worry about. You are good to go. Let's put some mega pixie dust on your green card application. Don't worry about the police coming to your house. I was walking down the street and I found an iPhone. Those things cost what? $1,000? I found an iPhone in the street. It fell out of somebody's pocket who was riding a bike. No doubt. So I couldn't get into the phone because it was locked up with a password. So I called the local sheriff. They came to my house around 8 o'clock at night. And I said, hey, I found this iPhone. I can't get into it to call the person because it's locked out. And the sheriff said, don't worry about it. We'll return it to the person. We can get into the phone. There you go. Boogeyman. All right. It's just he got my date of birth and stuff noted on a paper, so I kind of got a little worried. I think he just wanted to run my name over to see if there's any criminal history. It's all good. When, the police, if you get involved in the police, whether it's by accident or whatever, they're going to run your driver's license. They're going to run your name, your social. It's just protocol. It's police procedure. Okay, you didn't do anything wrong. I was driving down the road and this idiot hit me. I was driving into I made a right turn into the turn lane, and this idiot ran right into me and totaled my car. I didn't do a thing wrong. And his insurance company bought me a new car because the guy was an idiot. But the police ran my driver's license. They took my driver's license. They ran my name. They just did a police check on me. When there's probable cause, there's an accident, they have a right to run your name. You dialed the police by accident with your phone in a butt call. The police have a right to check you out. Okay? But don't worry about it. Nothing's going to happen to you. Everything's fine, Boogeyman. Just relax. Nothing's going to happen to you. Okay? Now, give me some questions on K-1 visas, guys. Green cards. Don't go in Facebook. Don't go into these groups in Facebook telling you how to process a green card, because 99% of the time they're wrong. Everybody's going off of these range numbers in Facebook. Well, my range number is this. It's irrelevant. Okay? Your green card package, your K-1 visa application is going to be processed and adjudicated depending on how well you put your package together. There's no specific order. If you put together a fantastic green card application, immigration is going to work on it first. If you submit a pitiful green card application, that's pretty worthless. All you have in there is the marriage certificate, the K-1 visa, the basics with hardly any evidence. You're going to get put aside because you didn't work hard at all on your green card application. If you don't work hard on your green card application, immigration is not going to work hard to help you. They'll set it over here. You can wait. Do you see what I'm saying? K-1 visas, the same thing. If you put together a fantastic K-1 visa application, it's going to get processed pretty quick. Immigration is going to be proud of you. Well, look at this K-1 visa application. It's excellent. This person didn't miss a thing. Nothing's missed here. Made 3 trips to the Philippines to visit his beneficiary, has all the boarding passes. They've been dating each other for 4 years. They lived together for a month on vacation. They've met the family. They got pictures with the family together and friends. If you do all that, if you put together a fantastic green card application or a K-1 visa package, you're great. The processing is going to move pretty quick for you. But if you're lazy and just put together a pitiful green card package or a K-1 visa application, hardly any evidence in there, don't be surprised if you get a RFE or a denial. Boogeyman, yeah, he just ran your number. He ran your social to see if you had a criminal history. That's okay. You don't have a criminal history, so don't worry about it. But that's protocol with the police, the sheriff. Like I said, they ran me when I was in a car accident. It wasn't even my fault. And it is what it is. Don't worry about it. But let's do this. I'll put some mega pixie dust to calm you down. Boogeyman, you're all good. Hopeful young man. Hey, I like your screen name. Hopeful young man. What are you hopeful for? Is USCIS still waiving interviews after the Trump administration? Probably not. I don't think so. But then again, it all depends on how strong your application is. Okay? When my wife is from Venezuela, Karina, she's from Venezuela. We submitted her 2-year green card application over a year ago. It came in the mail in 3 months and a couple of weeks. We didn't have to go to an interview because the green card application was perfect. It was this thick. I mean, I think it was 2 books. It was excellent. We're still collecting evidence for her 10-year green card. If Karina and I have to go to a green card interview for her 10-year green card in New Orleans or Montgomery, Alabama, or wherever, okay, so what? I don't care. We'll go. But it's at the moment, I would bank on having another interview for your green card. Okay? You'll probably get an email. You submit the 2-year green card application. You'll probably get an email that says your visa, your green card interview is pending. But don't panic if you have to go to an interview. It's no big deal. You're in a real relationship. You qualify for the benefit. You can prove your income. You can prove you can prove everything. You have no criminal record. You didn't violate any terms of the agreement with immigration. You didn't violate any immigration laws. You're good to go. It's just a pain that you have to go, get dressed up, put gas in the car, and go into your interview. Just don't be nervous. It's not hard to do. A green card interview is not difficult. But you've got to know everything about each other. They may ask you questions like, what's the color of your wife's toothbrush? What's the color of the carpet in the bedroom? Do you have any pets? What are their names? They want to make sure you guys are living together. How do they prove that you guys are living together? You can either do it with an application that's strong, or you can go in front of an immigration officer and he can ask you questions face to face. It may take 10, 15 minutes. It's no big deal. I would say to expect a green card interview. I already spoke to Karina. I said, hey, we're probably going to have to go in front of an immigration officer for your 10-year green card. She said, okay, it's no big deal. It's just an inconvenience. She has to take a day off of work. We have to drive somewhere. It costs money. Hotel, maybe. If it's in Montgomery, Alabama, we'll drive there the night before, find where the office is, go to the interview, spend the night in a hotel, come back. Gas, time, and money, right? That's the only drawback. Plus, bring all the evidence with you that they ask you for. But if you submit a fantastic green card application for your 10-year or 2-year green card, if it's an outstanding application where you can prove without a question that you guys are in a real relationship, you're probably going to get it waived. But I'm not going to guarantee anything. I think Trump wants to see everybody face to face. Okay? He wants immigration officers to put a hand on you personally to check on your status. That's all I think. But don't worry if you have to just go to it. Don't panic. Like there was Denise Jefferson. I think the process started to start with her. She lives in Utah. And she said, hey, Diego, I've got to go to a green card interview with my new husband from Nigeria. I said, okay, go. Bring all the evidence with you. Relax. Don't panic, and you'll get your green card. But why do I got to go to a green card interview? I said, because immigration said you have to. The process is starting to change. It's getting stricter. She said, but I'm nervous. I said, don't be nervous. Just go and get your green card. She went to the green card interview, and I think it was in Utah. And she got, and her husband, Kenneth, from Nigeria, got his green card. Don't panic. Just relax. What do you like? I got the Venezuelan flag over here, and I got the American flag here. I got it looking pretty good. I got my aliens. I got my spaceship over here. I get in the office looking pretty good. Hopeful young man. I'm a foreign graduate, Dr. Hopeful, who's new to the United States. Welcome to the United States. Very competitive, but I'm still hopeful for American dream. Hopeful young man. So are you here on a student visa? Are you here as a student? You're a graduate doctor. So did you go to university here? Did you intern here? Did you go to medical school here in the United States? And now you're still in the United States on a work visa or a student visa? What's your status? I'll give you a Mountain Dew salute for making it through medical school. That's a tough school. That's a very tough school. I got a family member who's an eye doctor in New Mexico. The doctor. She spent 20 years in school, going to school. I spent 20 years in the Navy and retired, and she just finished up her PhD. So being a doctor is tough. It's a lot of schooling. But if you're are you in the United States married to a U.S. citizen? Did you come in on a K-1 visa? Did you come in as a student for medical school? Tell me your status. And I'm sure you're going to get the American dream. I got no doubt about it, as long as you work hard. You work hard. You don't get in trouble with anybody. You follow the rules of the rules of the road. You know, you're going to be just fine. So you're going to change. I went to medical school in China. Okay. I came here 2 weeks ago for a K-1. Okay, very good. So you graduated from medical school in China. Now you're in the United States on a K-1 visa. Well, what I would be doing would be getting the green card package together. Make sure you include in your 2-year green card application your doctorate from medical school. All of your education that you have done, include it in your green card application. If it's all written in Chinese where nobody can read it, get it translated into English. This is a company I would use right here. They don't pay me to say this, okay? I just think they're a great company. Get your medical documents that you graduated from college in, medical school, etc. Get it, translate it into English, and put it in your green card application. The United States needs doctors, okay? Immigration is going to look at that and they're going to say, wow, he's got a doctorate, he's a doctor, went to medical school. That's going to add strength to your green card application. Besides all the other evidence, the marriage certificate, the copy of the K-1 visa, your copy of your NOA-2 letter. Don't forget the passport photos. Okay, if you need help putting this package together, let me know. And I will help you. If you want, sign up as a member. On the front of this channel, it says when you go into this channel, there's a section that says membership. If you want to sign up as a member, it's $9.99 a month. I'll personally help you put your green card package together so you don't make any mistakes. Or if you don't, just hang out. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. Just hang out on the channel, and when I do another live stream, I'll help you piecemeal it for you. But if you become a member, I'll give you my phone number and email address, and you can send me questions, and I'll get you through it quicker. But good job on making it through medical school. That's tough. And the United States definitely needs doctors. Okay? So make sure you include that in your green card application or your education. Very important. Don't forget the marriage certificate. Don't forget lots of photos of your wedding and your honeymoon, if you went on a honeymoon. Go back in time when you first started dating each other. Find pictures when you were together when you first started dating each other. I included those in Karina's green card application. We started dating back in 2021. You know, I flew to Bogota, Colombia in 2021, and it was for a 2-week vacation, and I stayed 5 weeks. And then I came back to the United States, and then I went back to Colombia for 5 months. Then I came back to the United States, and I went back to Colombia for 10 months. That's how we dated. I mean, I was lucky that, I was a real estate agent back then, so I told my boss where I was at. He said, okay, just when you get back. Some folks can't do that. If you're in a day job, like where you have to be 9 to 5, you can't do that. Okay. But you got to put together a very strong green card package. Okay. So now you're saying you're from China. Okay. Make sure your green card package is very strong. All right. Make sure it's very strong. Don't make any mistakes. Don't make any typos. Just pretend you're being a doctor on somebody and you can't make a mistake. That's how you must treat the green card application. No mistakes, 0 mistakes. Marcos Fanon Jr. Roca. Just to confirm, my wife can travel nationally and internationally with her green card. Yes, Marcos. But only for, I would say, 2 weeks max per trip. Do not accumulate any trips outside the United States that are longer than 6 months, 6 months or longer. If that happens, there's going to be a problem. Immigration won't like that. Okay? Karina has her 2-year green card. She could travel to Colombia if she wanted to, but we're not going to do that. I wouldn't even go for a month. I would say 3 weeks. 3 weeks, man. Because you got to think down the road for U.S. citizenship. Karina's got her 2-year green card. We could get on a plane tomorrow and fly to Colombia, but we're not going to do that. Because one of the first or second questions the immigration officer is going to ask Karina when she goes for her U.S. citizenship is, have you ever left the United States? And Karina's going to say, no, I've never left the United States. I've been a legal, permanent, continued resident of this country. I have never left. Okay, very good. But if you have to say, well, yeah, I left for a 2-week vacation, then I went for a 3-week, and then I went for a 4-week vacation, then I spent a month over there, immigration is going to add it all up. They're going to think you're using the green card as a visa to travel back and forth to a foreign country. That's not good. You're hearing me, right? Marcos, is it harder to get citizenship now? No. Will we be eligible in 2026? I believe we are in the same time frame as you by a month or so. Marcos, Karina got her 2-year green card issued June 25th, 2023. So 3 years, no, 2024, 2023. So 3 years from 2023, 2020, 2024. So in March of 2026, Karina is eligible for U.S. citizenship, but she has to be able to speak English and write in English. If she doesn't speak or write English strong enough, I'm not going to have her apply for citizenship until she does. But she's not going to leave the United States until her U.S. citizenship interview when she files Form N-400. N-400. You can file online for U.S. citizenship online. But the thing is this, don't leave the country until you are a U.S. citizen. So then when you get the question by the immigration officer, have you ever left the country? You can say, no, I never left. Marcos, last one for me. Can she travel nationally with just a state ID? Yes. Inside the United States, yes. Karina has a Florida driver's license. We're going on vacation next month. I'm going to make a bunch of videos of our vacation. Okay, so we're going to go to different places, and I'm going to make a video from each place. We're going to go to the airport, get on a plane, and we're going to fly to this other place with her driver's license and my driver's license. Okay, now it's going to be Karina's driver's license is federally certified as a certified identification. It's got a little star in the top right-hand corner, which means it's accepted by the federal government for travel. So Karina will bring her green card with her, but a copy of it. She'll make a photocopy of her green card. Her green card will be stashed in a safe back in the house, but we'll make a photocopy of it and print it. She'll bring that with her on paper, and she will have her Florida driver's license, and I'll have my Florida drive, and we're going to fly on vacation next month. Okay, we're going to go for a week. I don't know if I'll be able to do a live stream during that vacation time. I don't know if there's internet in the hotel that's strong enough to handle a live stream. I don't know. So we'll be gone for a week. When I come back, I'll make a bunch of videos and upload them, and you guys can watch them. And I'm going to upload a bunch of videos for our members only. If you're a member of the site, we're going to make videos for you guys. Marcos, enjoy. If you go to Vegas, bet on red. Who's red? What, Red Skeleton? I don't know who's red. Bet on red. Oh, the color red. Is that the only choices you have? Is like black and red, right? I don't know. I'm not a gambling person. Okay? nor is Karina. But a Mountain Dew salute to whatever red is. Okay, I got it. Okay, guys, I've been talking for 1 hour. Hopeful young man, thank you very much. That's a good idea. I will add my certificates to the package. Yeah. Go to Walmart or somewhere and get a binder. Get some document protectors. Make a cover sheet for your green card application. Put everything in order on the cover sheet that's in the binder. So when immigration get your green card application, they'll open it up, they'll look at the cover sheet, and they can flip through your binder and find everything that quick. Make sure you include your doctorates, your medical degrees, your college degrees, and get it translated into English if it's not in English. And what I would also do is get the Spanish group will do this, get it adjudicated as a American, for American equivalency. Okay, and do that. That's what Karina did. She has her degree in tax accounting, and we got it converted into a U.S. equivalency. And the Spanish group did that. So upload those documents onto your computer, email them to the Spanish group, and they'll do it for you. They'll do everything for you. Okay, guys, I see it's today's what, Thursday? I'll see you guys for the next live stream. It will be Saturday with Karina. Unless you want me to do a live stream tomorrow, I can do another one tomorrow if you need help. All right. And don't forget, if you sign up as a member, guys, I will give you personal one-on-one help with your green card package, your K-1 visa application. I'll even fill out the paperwork for you if you want. We'll see you guys at the next live stream. And thanks for stopping by. We hope you learned something new today. Always good to learn something new. I'll see you guys